drockers out there, one of the perennial questions asked by new fans of Judge Dredd is where do they start? Nearly 40 years of backstory, Megazine, 2000 AD, summer specials, annuals, novels, audio CDs, you name it, list goes on. Well, one of the things people say is try the case files. It's up to about 29, 30 now. Case files 5, they always say is a jumping on point. You start to get the main characters in there, and Dredd's world is laid out a bit better than the initial stuff where it's like trying to get its foundations and stuff. Another series of books to get into is the Hatchet Press. America's one of the big stories, even though Dredd only appears in a small part of the story, but it has such a big impact. It gives you a good reference to the world of Dredd, so that's an excellent series to get. You can also get nice and about £6 or something now in the old cheap bookstores. The Best of Judge Dredd. This also has the America story in the back, if I remember some. I'll probably get it wrong now. Oh, sorry, a bit of Origins in there. And it has got America actually. You can see the America pages there. It's got loads of different stories in there. That's a quite cheap thing to get. You'll find that floating around. Other things like the Cursed Earth Uncensored, which has got the stories that were banned for a long time. That's quite a good one to get, just to get the madness of the Cursed Earth and Dredd's role in what he has to do to save Megazine 2. That's an excellent thing. You can also get IDW did a series of small runs of Dredd Year 1 books. They're quite good. 4-part stories, excellent read by the creators of well-known writers of Dredd nowadays. You also get e-novels or e-books done by people like Matt Smith, Al Ewing and Michael Carroll. They're excellent reads. They're set in Year 1, and I think we have actually moved into Year 2 now. So you're getting Dredd from how he started off in Justice Department. So he's not the rounded figure that we have now, but you're seeing him gain in stature. Also in that series, if you're a fan of Rico, which you haven't really seen that much of, we just know he went to Titan, came back, tried to take Dredd down. There is a e-novel by Michael Carroll which shows the gradual fall of Rico, and I personally think that shows it goes into a brilliant way of showing how he fell, because it wasn't like he come out of the academy and he's bad. It showed that one little chink that happened into his armour, and it made it get worse and worse and worse. One of those things. Brilliant writing. So like I say, there's all those things to get into Dredd and the world of Dredd. But my personal belief is there's a couple of books out there, which is going to be a little bit longer in the series. These are the perfect books to get. The Daily Dredds. So you've got 2 volumes at the moment. We'll start with volume 1. Now these came from the newspaper, the Daily Star. Now the reason why I say these are the best way to get into Dredd is these, mostly in this volume, it's one and done stories. These are done by John Wagner, Alan Grant and Richard Burton, and you've got art in this one by Ron Smith, Ian Gibson, Mick McMahon, John Higgins, Steve Dillon and Brett Ewings. It's excellently packaged, as you can see. Lovely spine there, and the spines, see, now that's pretty nice. Lovely, everything about it, it's perfect. So we open it up. A nice insert bit, which I've actually got signed on this by a few people. You've got John Wagner, Mick McMahon, John Higgins and Steve Dillon. And let's go through a little bit. This one was one of the bookplate exclusive ones. You could only get a 2000 AD, but you can get the normal one without this from 2000 AD or other good online or retailers. You have a nice introduction by Keith Richardson, who's behind the design and everything put together on this. They asked people from 2000 AD forum for help and the Facebook page, and they get a mention in here as well, to track down all these pieces of artwork. You also get a nice write-up by Richard Burton there, and then you get the index of all the strips that are in here from 1981 up to 1986 with miscellaneous strips and weekday strips. There's everything's a one and done, but you've got a couple of part 1, part 2s, part 3s, stuff like that. So for a person who's just getting into Dredd, this gives you everything about Justice Department. So you're getting the vehicles, you're getting the weapons, you're getting all the scenarios that Justice Department would be in, like block wars and sugar, illegal sugar and things like that. It's quite difficult because obviously if you're a long time fan, these things are second nature, but it's trying to think of things that a new reader would want to read into. So because it's like a bedtime book, put it down, read about 4 or 5 quick stories, or whatever, if you can stop after that because it's so good. And as you can see, the artwork is absolutely beautiful in there. It's all black and white. That's it, one and done stories, all got a little quip at the end where Dredd finished off the story. In this you've got also some stories that are slightly different in their layout. Probably won't be able to find it now. Let's have a look. Come on. There we are, there's one. So you've got normal layouts there, but you've also got a layout like that. So you just begin the story, goes through it, Dredd turns up, as on this one the plant's eating the person's head, Dredd saves the day, and a little quip at the end. That's it, it's fantastic book. That's it, loads of jokes, references and stuff like that, and because these are so compact, it just shows you the excellent writing of the 3 main writers on these stories, like I say, Wagner, Grant and Burton. So cleverly done. It's well worth getting for the artwork as well. These are massive names in the world of Dredd. You know, Smith, Gibson, McMahon, Higgins, and sadly we've lost the last 2 on here, Steve Dillon recently and Brett Ewins. Also in this you get at the back you're getting the biographies of all the creators, which is nicely done, and you've got a nice bit of white page there if you want to get a bit of artwork drawn in if you go to one of the conventions and stuff. So that's number 1, which like I say is mainly one and dones, apart from a couple that have got like 2 or 3 parts to it. Very simple, get into it, you'll find out about Boeing, you'll find out about the Birdie Lie detector, you'll find out about all the different rounds Dredd fires, the different parts, the way Brit Sitter mentioned in here, there's a few little bits there. Excellent read, can't fault it. Now the latest edition, volume 2, written by John Wagner, Alan Grant, and this time the art is by Ian Gibson, Barry Kitson, Steve Dillon, Mike Collins. On this one, similar layout, beautifully done, lovely forward by Keith Richardson, and another one by Mike Collins. And then this one shows you just the stories here. We've got 11 stories complete inside, and they range from 65 episodes to 78 episodes, well sorry, 42 episodes there to 78 episodes. So these are longer stories, but obviously if you've read that one, you've now got into the world of Dredd, and hopefully you've started reading the prog and the magazine, and you'll want to go back. And again, the artwork is absolutely beautiful inside. Reproduction, well done by Rebellion, and you've got the famous characters, Mr. Snork, who has the big nose, who Dredd met earlier on in the prog, so they've got another story in here. You've got Mean Machine, you've got the Dark Judges, so you've got all the major characters, the major players in the world of Dredd are in here. And like I say, because this, the Executioner sort of thing, person and all this, and because these are so reasonably priced and nicely compact on the shelf, and so well done with each other, it's not a big deal, you're not spending a fortune. And at the back you have individual biographies on each page. So if you want, get a bit of artwork drawn on there, or get John to sign that part of the book and Alan to sign that part, whatever you like. It's a lovely collection, and like I say, I personally believe these 2 and the ones to come are the best way to get into Dredd. So simple, like I say, volume 1, one and dones, just pick it up, read a few, put it down, come back to it. This one, bit of investment in time because you're reading like 77 parts on 78 parts on the longer story, but once you've read that, you'll definitely want to buy that. So can't fault it, and got nice images on the back as well, both of them. So nice big Dredd head. So if I were you, buy those 2 as soon as possible, get them for Christmas or whenever, some sort of anniversary present or something from the wife or from the husband. So yeah, stay tuned for the next thing from the Cellar of Dread.